Hey guys, so this is some insight about our current world, because of course if you are my viewer, then it's highly likely that you are one of those people who recently, or not so recently, but try to clean up their history online, on social media, deleting your posts, trying to keep a low profile to not get caught in one of these internet things that are going on. And in the past I would have said that that's a good idea and that we are moving wisely, but obviously I was not high profile either, and it did not help me at all to be a low profile guy online. I just want you to understand how it is. So people, if you look around, if you go in a tram or use public transportation, or we just go out on the street, then you will see people on the phone or their phones all the time. And that's the situation. Most people, I think, they have screen times exceeding 4 hours, and they spend most of it on the few social media apps that are available out there. And that means that the internet really has consumed the real world in terms of people's perception of other people or events or anything. So for you it means that you could be cancelled in the past for having a wrong opinion about something and putting it in a tweet. Probably it's still the case, but even just being silent, you are on the internet, you have a profile. Even babies, they have Facebook profiles being made for them by their parents, or they have pictures taken off, and they get entered into these systems one way or another. And therefore there's no such thing as a man or a woman who is not online to some degree. So you really cannot escape it. And there are these actors, there are these huge groups, even some organizations, I believe, who are really good at shaping these things, how people view events and other people. That's their job. And so if you, as someone who has some unpopular opinions, like Jesus Christ is the Son of God, or it's bad that dating or the healthcare system or anything else is like how it is, then you cannot protect yourself by trying to go offline. You're just hurting yourself. You cannot put your light behind the curtain just to protect yourself, because it just doesn't work. I tried extensively, but I grew, I guess, the most in being known on the internet when I was actively trying to not be known on the internet. And that's just how it is with apps like what was the name? The gossip app that just became viral. Now it's not just for the lucky few like me who have some serious people against them, but it's for everyone now. We have gossip apps trending on TikTok, and that really means that there is no way you can stay offline. It's a much better strategy to instead produce content at some level. For me, I can vouch for this, just taking pictures in a good mood, recording these videos and talking to people in this way. It has enabled me to really dispel a lot of lies, misunderstandings, and just overall manipulation that some powerful groups and actors were trying to put in place. So it's much more useful to keep being online. Of course, you have to watch what you say, and I think that should be the case anyway, because being negative, laughing about, let's say, I know how some of my so-called enemies are hating me because they themselves suffer from things, and it has an allure, I guess, to really push that in their face and to laugh at them, to mock them. But that's not how you win over people, and ultimately that's what we need. We need more people to be aware and not just mindlessly following whatever the current Matrix programming is, because it's getting really bad to the point where normal, regular guys can expect to be in a difficult situation at some point. So yeah, my advice is that do not try to hide your ideas, because it's really impossible. Do not try to be offline, because it's really impossible. Yeah, maybe it's possible if you go to a monastery or if you go to a rural area in a third world country. Maybe then it's possible, but you live in a city probably, so it's not happening. You are not going offline, no matter how hard you try. And also those posts that you ever made, even the posts that you have not made but just saved as a draft or just thought about, they are in a database somewhere. They can absolutely and do check even where your finger touches the screen, which buttons you click. Those are all primarily used for advertising, but it's very easy to reuse it for other things, to really understand you, and that's what they do. So don't try to go offline, but instead embrace it, embrace that we have little privacy, and use it to really spread the truth, to try to bring other people up. And you will face some resistance, but it is what it is. That cannot be helped. This is the current situation. Don't try to go offline. Just be positive. Be lighthearted. Be lighthearted. Don't take yourself too seriously, and you'll be fine. A final point, because I do see a huge divide online between people who might be more inclined to agree with my things, or people who, let's say, are plugged in. And what I usually see is that people are just mocking and laughing at the other side. And I get that it feels good for you, or maybe I don't get that anymore. But it's not useful. If you have some compassion to the people who are still not aware of the situation, then you will be much more effective in winning people over. And that's really what this is about. That's how we can improve things, if we win people over to the reality of the situation. And yeah, there are some people who just will not believe anything that you say, even if it's obviously true. But it is what it is. Jesus was facing the same thing. Jesus was saying very, very useful stuff that can help you immensely in your life and also the next. But still, people just would not listen, even though he did all those things, reviving the dead or multiplying food. It just wasn't enough. For some people, it really is the case that you cannot get through, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do. But you need to accept that. And you also need to accept that there are still some people who can be saved. That's the whole reason for it not being the end of the world, because God is patient in this way, and He will absolutely wait until the very last person who could have been saved is saved.